Good day, everyone. Welcome to the Northern Rockies Annual Weather Summary for 2017 from your National Weather Service office in Missoula, Montana. Let's start out by talking a little bit about what kind of drove our weather patterns last year, and the main culprit was La Nina. La Nina occurred in January through March of 2017, which this is typical for or favorable for above normal snow and below normal temperatures. We had ENSO neutral conditions during the summer, and then a return of La Nina in November and December last year. Precipitation for the entire year. This map shows average precipitation of normal, which indicates here central Idaho across most of western Montana above normal precipitation. About the only outlier was far southwest Montana down near Butte, where precipitation was slightly below normal. A little bit closer look at annual precipitation. See here Missoula, Kalispell, and Salmon were all just barely above normal. Butte, as mentioned, was slightly below normal. And the winner for precipitation percentage-wise was Orofino last year, where Orofino had 132% of normal. The wettest actual day of the year last year, there was a pretty decent late spring event in southwest and west central Montana, which brought 8,500 an inch of rain in Missoula and 8,900 in Butte. Just recently, Kalispell had 8,500 of liquid precipitation from a winter storm, which translated to around 10, 11 inches of snow. Orofino had over an inch of rain in March, and Salmon recorded 1.6 inches in July. So our annual temperature departure from average, looking at the map, you can see across much of the Pacific Northwest and part of the Northern Rockies, temperatures were at or slightly below normal, with temperatures somewhat above normal along the Continental Divide into southwest Montana. Taking a closer look at temperature departures, Missoula, Kalispell, and Salmon were slightly below normal. Orofino was the coolest spot for the year across the region at 1.3 degrees below normal for temperatures. And here in Butte, as mentioned, we're slightly above normal for temperatures. January through February 2017, one of the coldest and snowiest on record. Salmon recorded their third coldest period. Orofino had their second coldest January and February on record. Missoula 17th and Kalispell 14th coldest on record. And note, Kalispell, January, February last year was their fifth snowiest on record with 43 inches. Some weather systems, they had some larger impacts in 2017. For January through March, there was a winter storm that started off the year through the first week of January. First of all, brought snow and blowing snow to northwest Montana and many areas of west central Montana, as well as dangerous wind chills behind this Arctic front. A couple good 2 or 3 days of wind chills at 15 to 30 below zero, which actually closed most ski areas. And we get to the end of January through the first week of February, there was a period of moderate to heavy snow or from time to time across northwest Montana and central Idaho, where anywhere from 1 to 2 feet of snow fell. And the biggest impact of this was snow loading on roofs. Several roofs collapsed, especially in northwest Montana. Weather systems with larger impacts for the spring, hydrology or flooding issues. Salmon River recorded their greatest flood stage on record as a result of very high mountain snow amounts in central Idaho. There was in early to mid-July a flooding event that occurred in Phillipsburg and the Sapphire Mountains. In the mid-May, high wind event across northwest Montana which produced numerous power outages across the Mission Valley. So probably one of our bigger events of the entire year happened to be in July through August. July was one of our hottest and driest on record. Missoula recorded 46 consecutive days without measurable precip. It was their driest July on record, or actually tied with the year 1917 with only a trace. Kalispell's July was their 5th driest, and Orofino also recorded their driest on record with 0 precip, 42 days without rain. How hot was it in July? These are average temperatures for the entire month. Notably, Butte recorded their 2nd hottest average temperature. Missoula, their 4th hottest, and Kalispell, their 3rd hottest average temperature. Orofino, numbers-wise, actually had the hottest July for average temperatures at 93.5 degrees. What was the hottest day in the entire year of 2017? Well, they all occurred in July except for salmon. 101 degrees we hit Missoula on July 8th. Kalispell was 98 on July 7th, and 102 in Orofino on July 7th. So throughout the summer, and we'll talk a little bit about the fall, some of our weather systems with larger impact. First of all, there was actually less convection or thunderstorm days than usual this year. As mentioned, one of our driest Julys on record across the entire region. We had a very active and early fire season thanks to the extreme heat early in July and lack of precipitation. Over 1 million acres burned across the entire northern Rockies. And the fire season basically ended sort of abruptly September 14th and 15th with an early mountain winter storm, especially along the Continental Divide. The extreme fires ended during the middle of September. We had a high wind event in the middle of October, 40 to 50 mile per hour winds in the Flathead and Mission Valleys, which actually triggered some late season wildfires, basically grass fires that were easily controlled. But it was somewhat unusual to have some late season wildfires in mid-October. So as we get into November and December of this last year, the last few months, La Nina returned. It developed. It's weak La Nina, which is very favorable for colder than normal and above normal snowfall. We were kind of wondering where it was. Outside of some early November snow, there was very little snow from mid-November through mid-December. Well, right around December 15th, we started getting frequent snowstorms all the way through today, January 2nd, where we recorded a trace of snow. It ended up being our 6th snowiest December on record. December 2016 and 2017 ended up being our 3rd and 6th snowiest Decembers on record. And this most recent snowstorm we had on December 29th through 31st, a couple feet of snow fell in Seeley Lake and up towards Clinton and Drummond, whereas almost a foot of snow fell in Kalispell and anywhere from 8 to 10 inches in Missoula and lesser amounts in the Bitterroot Valley. So as we go into some specific numbers for annual snow, that helped pad these numbers, where it was our 10th snowiest year on record in Missoula. It was 65.5 inches of snow. 3rd snowiest year on record, and this is calendar year, January through December. In Kalispell, 96.5 inches. Orofino recorded 20 inches, and Salmon almost 15 inches of snow. What was the snowiest day of the year? Well, in Missoula, that just happened to be December 24th, 1 day of snowfall, 6.3 inches. December 10th of this last year, they had 10.5 inches in Kalispell. Orofino had 3 inches on December 14th, and January of last year, Salmon had 3 inches. Again, that's the snowiest 1 day of the year. Missoula recently had, I think, 9.5 inches, 2-day amounts on the 29th and 30th. Coldest day of the year, 2017, All occurred last January. 16 below in Missoula on January 5th. January 4th and 5th, 22 below each day in Kalispell. January 5th, 32 below in Butte. The coldest day in Orofino last year was 1, which is pretty cold for them. And January 16th and 17th, 23 below in Salmon. Well, that's all I have for our weather from 2017. For more information on the climate of 2017 or our latest weather updates, please visit us at our website, weather.gov/Missoula. Follow us on Twitter at NWS Missoula or on Facebook at National Weather Service Missoula. You can always contact us at 329-4840. Hope everyone has a great day and a great 2018.